Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Sue Brooks. Today I'll be presenting Building a Legacy of Excellence Through Moments of Truth. What you're going to learn today, why you should conduct a Moments of Truth session with your club or clubs, how to adapt the material from Toastmasters International, and some planning tips. After the presentation has concluded, I will be sharing the following resources with you. These are all downloadable from Toastmasters International. There is a Moments of Truth PowerPoint, which I have embedded in this presentation for demonstration purposes. There is a Moments of Truth PDF. That document will allow you to learn about how to conduct the session. There is a document called Moments of Truth Chart, which shows the 6 pillars of excellence as a reference, and a handout where you can adapt it and use it as a worksheet when you're conducting the Moments of Truth education session. On here on your screen, there's a link to show you where you can get it. Following this presentation, I'll be placing all of the resources that I just mentioned in the chat, so you can download them from the chat and also this link in case you need to get it. So why don't we continue with the presentation and find out why this is so important to you and your clubs. Why? To build this tradition of excellence, we want to have an understanding of why you should be conducting this educational session from Toastmasters International. This will help you gain an understanding of how your club is doing from all members' voices. By conducting the Moments of Truth education session, you and the other members of your club will identify areas for improvement. You'll find out what's going well and what you could be doing better. I want to share something with you, a personal story. I've been conducting these Moments of Truth sessions in my clubs and also served as a participant in some of my clubs when they conduct Moments of Truth. I just went to one the other night. It's a specialty club, and many of the officers and participants are advanced Toastmasters. We found, even though everybody seems to know, yes, we should be doing this and we should be doing that, we've been Toastmasters for a while, we scored ourselves very low on a few of the pillars that we knew we still need a lot of work to increase our members, to keep our members engaged. Just because you're an advanced Toastmaster or have been doing this for a while, things change. By conducting this program, you and the other members of the club will help set goals for success based on the outcome of the discussion. Just like I mentioned when we conducted this in my club the other night, after we had the discussion, we captured the minutes that we will bring back to the officer team and figure out what we should do first, what we should do second, and what we should do next to help bring our club to success. This will help guide your club towards excellence and member satisfaction, because it's not just serving ourselves as an officer. It's not just patting ourselves on the shoulder. Great job, great job. You scored a 5. No, it's making sure that we're serving all the members. And we're setting a solid foundation for the Distinguished Club program. If you haven't heard about it, you will. We talk about it during the club officer training, plenary sessions, and the breakout sessions. We all know that we want to strive for a minimum number of 20 members or above, plus attaining as many Distinguished Club program goals as possible. And by serving your members with a Moments of Truth session, you're on your way to success and building that foundation of excellence. Here's a fun fact. This relates to the clubs that I'm in. And just like they say in finance, past performance does not guarantee future results. But here's the fact. Clubs that complete a club success plan and conduct a Moments of Truth educational module have historically attained distinguished or above each year. So let that sink in. Again, I'm not making any promises, but these are the results that I've seen in my clubs. So consider that when you consider running a Moments of Truth session for your clubs. This is what the Moments of Truth session will look like. I've embedded that PowerPoint presentation into my deck here. It'll start out naming the presentation and identifying that this is part of Toastmasters International Successful Club Series. Next, you will present a Moment of Truth is an episode where a person comes in contact with any aspect of the Toastmasters experience and forms an impression of a club's quality and service. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is important to do. I recommend each year. You could do it at the beginning of the year to set yourselves up for success for the current year. Or if you're a newer club, do it towards the end of the year where you've had enough tenure to figure out how your club is, get those relationships going, and see how you're interacting. A few years ago, I was a charter member of a brand new club, and we identified that we needed to do this Moments of Truth perhaps in April or May to set ourselves up for success for the following year because we hadn't had enough tenure to make any informed opinions. So you'll read this screen to the members, and then you'll go over the 6 pillars of excellence. First impressions, membership orientation, fellowship, variety, and communication, program planning and meeting organization, membership strength, and achievement recognition. Next, you're going to move on to the following screens where each one of these 6 pillars will be explained in detail. And what I recommend is you adapt each of the pillars' particulars for your club, if you're an advanced club or a specialty club, if you're meeting online or in a hybrid format, because some of the pieces will not necessarily relate. First impressions. Are the guests greeted warmly and introduced to the officers and members? Do you have a guest book and name tags provided? This doesn't necessarily apply to online clubs or hybrid clubs. Professionally arranged meeting room. That applies to an in-person or a hybrid club, but it wouldn't necessarily apply to a Zoom room or a Teams room, but you could say a professionally arranged Zoom environment. Convenient meeting location. Again, location doesn't really factor in if you're on an online format. Guests invited to address the club and guests invited to join. Membership orientation. You'll have a formal induction, including presentation of PIN. Well, not all clubs do that, nor do they ever have that in their club culture. Some of the things that you will see in the Moments of Truth as currently written by Toastmasters International were left over from when everybody met in person all the time. Assignment of mentor, that's pretty important. Education programs and recognition system discussed. Learning needs assessed. Discussed accommodation for members with disabilities. Speaking roles assigned and member involved in club activities. Next, you'll go over fellowship, variety, and communication. Are guests greeted warmly? Do you have enjoyable education meetings, regularly scheduled social events, participation in area, district, and international events, interclub events, and a club newsletter and or website updated regularly? And again, you can tweak this or adapt it if it doesn't particularly meet every single line item for your club. Program planning and meeting organization. Program and agenda publicized in advance. Members are prepared to carry out all program assignments. All projects are from Pathways. Meetings begin and end on time, creative table topics and activities, positive and helpful evaluations. Membership strength. I know a lot of you have talked to me and said that this is where you know that you can improve your club. I know it's relevant to a lot of my clubs. Club has 20 or more members. Members are retained. Promotion in club's organization and community. Club programs are varied and exciting. Toastmaster sponsoring new members are recognized. And regular membership building programs. And this can tie in directly to what Katie talked to us about at the beginning of the training, and that is be aware of what Toastmasters has and what the district has. Achievement recognition. Award applications immediately submitted to World Headquarters. And now, with the updates in Pathways, it makes it ever so much easier. One click and you're done. Progress chart displayed and maintained. I know a lot of clubs do not do this, so you could tweak this particular line item. Member achievements recognized with ceremony. Club, district, and international leaders recognized. Club and member achievements publicized, and the DCP, or the Distinguished Club Program, used for planning and recognition. Does your club meet standards? Then you will list all or read out all of these 6 pillars. And then you will read the concluding slide. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Again, you can tweak this material as needed for your club and your meeting format. After you show the presentation, you're going to break up into groups. And I'm going to go over that in a moment after I show you what these 4 resources look like. This is the PDF I talked about before. This is the piece of material that you will use to learn how to conduct the Moments of Truth session. It has all the material that you need to be successful. This is the chart. It has in bold, in blue, the 6 pillars, and it encapsulates each of the line items that is shown in the PowerPoint. You can share this resource with the members of your club who are participating in the program, so they could have it as a reference when you go into your discussion teams. The Moments of Truth handout has a worksheet in this document where you can score between 1 and 5 what the people participating in the discussion identify as how they feel, how the club is doing. The next steps. I recommend that the facilitator polls the members of the club for ideas. If they cannot attend the Moments of Truth workshop for that particular day or evening. This way, everyone has a voice. So for example, if Pamela couldn't attend the one that I was leading for Talk of Monmouth, she has the opportunity to send in her feelings and her ideas in advance. This way, when the club was conducting the Moments of Truth session, we read out Pamela's input and Pamela's feedback. So everybody in the room hears what Pamela had to say, even though she couldn't be there. Individual members may want to lead or facilitate that event, and you can do it for credit. Officers can decide on a sequence or cadence of the actions items discussed. In other words, you have your discussion after you show the PowerPoint, and then when the information gets brought back to the officer team will then discuss which items to focus on first, which to focus on later on during the year, and which to focus on toward the end of the year. This way you have a plan, but not everything can be a level 1, let's do it now kind of item. The other thing you do when you conduct your Moments of Truth session is if you have a small group or a small club or only a few people are attending that session that day or evening, you can have that group review all 6 pillars as an overview, and then focus on what the group believes are the top 2 for an in-depth discussion. Historically, the groups that I've participated in have kept it to 1 hour. There's no need to keep it any longer. Larger groups can review the 6 pillars in an overview, and then you can break up into smaller groups and have each group review 2 pillars. Then, when you reconvene, each group reports back to the entire group during the group discussion what they felt they scored those 2 particular pillars in or on. Some potential pathways projects for anybody who wants to facilitate this. Manage online meetings is one. A high performance leadership project might be a good option if the person has never done this, and for them, it would be a really big stretch goal. Motivate others depending on your path, team building, or even prepare to speak professionally. Different projects depend on which path you're on. Some are in all of the paths and some are particular. So these are just a few ideas for anybody who wants to facilitate this for their club and get credit. So what's one thing that you will bring back to your club as a result of today's training? You could place your answers in the chat, please. While you're doing that, I want to share with you, for more information, you can get in touch with me. I have my email and my LinkedIn. And at this point, I would like to share some of the resources. Doing this with the leadership team, poll members ahead of Moments of Truth session. I want to share with you in the chat the resources that I just identified. And I'm going to stop